Good morning. It's all good fun here. Hello, good morning, welcome. I thought I'd done it. I'm in a car, obviously, as you can see, glasses sitting on my head, ready to go for my social media group, which I run on a Wednesday. But aside that, what's gone on, what's happening, where are we on the marketplace? And it's been a while since I've just done an up Periscope and said, good morning, everyone. Where are we in this investment world that we sit in? And the quite honest statement is, if I could predict the market, I wouldn't be sitting here talking to you now. I'd be on the boat somewhere in the Cayman Islands just saying I knew everything that was going to go on. We have seen obviously a slowdown in Chinese economy. If you look at for the last 10, 12 years, China has done nothing but grow. And at some point, the steam was going to have to come out. What didn't happen was the steam was going to come out when you're dealing with oil prices crashing. And we still have this issue with regards to Greece, where you have a prime minister that just says, do you know what, I can't do this. I'm going to exit and, go and get another prime minister. Let's go for a snap election and see what happens, just in case anyone doubts what I'm doing. So all this collided together in a great big storm, which saw markets cool off. Now, with that came China to the rescue, thought it could do the first thing, which was reduce the value of its currency. So devalue its currency, trying to make it more competitive in the outside world. Clearly had the opposite effect, because everyone sat there and thought, well, clearly China were worried about it. They're a communist country. Why should they be worried about whether equities go up or whether they go down? So clearly they are. So guess what? That made things worse. What we then had was we then seeing a situation where the rest of the world reacted. And because the rest of the world reacted, so every other market came down. And at this point in time, the traditional Brit investor would have walked away from the markets, blown his fingers because of because it got burnt, and sat there, waited for the markets to come back up. In light of the measures that were put in and the fact the rest of the world liked that China cut interest rates, and the Chinese government told its bankers to lend more money, pretty similar to what we saw here, and suddenly the rest of the world thought, do you know what, this is really good. The other interesting thing was the rest of Asia thought, well, China may be having issues, but we're not. So we did see yesterday the Asian markets, aside from China and Japan, actually come good. That then triggered a UK recovery, which saw the FTSE come up more than 3%. That saw a US recovery, which saw the Dow make up nearly 2%. And we've seen some stability. I'm not going to sit here and say we've seen growth. We've seen some stability in Asian shares overnight. Now, there is something out there which they used to call the dead cat bounce. It's a horrible term to say that when a cat dies, it has one more beat of its heart, which makes it look like it's still alive. And they do refer that to markets that sometimes after a big crash, we have a day of where everything's great, and then all of a sudden it all goes down again. So today's the important day. Can the impetus be carried on to the UK? Can it then be carried on to the US? And we shall wait and see. I have no idea. Certainly, it all looks good for it to continue. And let's be honest, the worst thing anyone can do, whether they're investing in, stocks and shares in their own personal money or whether it's their pension, the worst thing I can do right now is pull out, because the quickest way to recover your losses is to remain in the market. Just as much as money can come down, money can grow. And if we put it in cash, we're going to get 0.1, 0.2% maybe. You can stick it under your bed. You'll be inflation ravaged. Mind you, inflation's not that high, so maybe. But it's not a great long-term solution. It might give you that quick fix. And the opening line of my Periscope, China weak. Is it weak? Of course it's not weak. It's the third strongest economy in the world. Everyone needs a breather every now and then, and that's exactly what's going on. They are still, they are still striving to be the biggest economy and predicted to be so within the next 20 years. These things do happen. We've seen it in 2001 when we had the atrocity of the Twin Towers coming down in New York. We saw it in 2007-8 in terms of the global crisis that saw everything get ravaged, and we recovered. And we're seeing it now. And there's one fundamental difference. This is not a global meltdown. Banks are in a much better position than they were 7-8 years ago. This is no way going to affect things. And in all fairness, the UK is still predicted there to be a bull market, and there is still growth and there is still value. So it's very difficult. Strap yourselves in. The no smoking sign is on. The seatbelt sign is on. You're in the aeroplane. You're about to hit some turbulence. It's been like this most of the year. And I think, in fairness, it will continue to do so until Christmas, January time 16, when hopefully we'll start seeing things settle down. But try and be calm. Talk to an independent financial advisor if you need some help and advice. Hi, that's what I do. But if you've got an existing relationship with someone, then feel free to continue that relationship. But I'll always be happy to take a question or take an answer, and I'm sure you can find me on social media somewhere. Have a great day.